Well, hello NPLAD missionaries. We are so excited about what God wants to do in you and through you. And listen, today we continue on with our training and we're getting into something so special. Why? Because we want you to be ready to hit the ground running when you get into the country. And listen, so today is all going to be about sharing your testimony. Now, you've probably heard that sharing your testimony is one of the most powerful tools that you have when it comes to evangelism. And so there are 3 phases to sharing your testimony that I want to share with you. Number 1, your life before Christ. That's right, your life before Christ. You want to begin to share with people about some of the things you've been through, some of the things you've faced. But more importantly, when you're talking about those things, you want to talk about some of the feelings that are associated during that season of your life, that time, life before Christ. Now here's the thing though, you don't want to over glorify your past, right? You don't want to spend a bunch of time talking about how you were this wild and crazy and all over the place and drunk and whatever your story is, because everyone's story is different. And you don't want to glorify and then finish with a little bit of Jesus. You don't want to do that. But you do want to make sure that you do talk a little bit about your life before Christ, because it's that maybe is going to relate to somebody very specifically where they can connect with you. And so listen, you want to share first phase number 1, your life before Christ. Phase 2, how are you led to Christ? How are you led to Christ? Listen, I'll tell you really quickly how I was led to Christ. I did not grow up in a Christian home at all. A friend of mine invited me to church because he liked a girl at church and he asked me to be his wingman. So I said, hey man, I'll go with you. I'll go to church. And so he went, and then he wanted us to go back because he liked her and he was trying to build a relationship with her. Next thing you know, I was in the presence of God. The pastor was speaking, and I just, even in the middle of just worship, I just went up there and went down and got at the altar. Nobody did an altar call, but what happened with me is God became real for the very first time. And it was that day that I surrendered my life to Him. All it took is for somebody to invite me. So you'd share a little bit, how are you led to Christ? And then talk about some of the feelings and emotions that happened during that time. What is it that you came to know? How are you feeling? What was happening inside? What were the circumstances? What were the surroundings? Say just enough so that they understand where your heart is, where you're going, where you're coming from. And phase 3 of sharing your testimony is after, right? After you came to know Christ. And you want to maybe use words like joy and peace and comfort, all these type of things. Talk about how your life changed after Christ. Maybe circumstances around you didn't change, but the joy and the peace and just the overwhelming comfort that you were surrounded with made life so much easier. Listen, walking with Jesus is one of the most amazing feelings in the world. And specifically for me, it's all about the peace. That no matter what decision I'm facing, what life is taking me, or what circumstances I'm being dealt with, I have a peace that Jesus walks me through. And so listen, you want to share those 3 phases. Phase number 1, life before Christ. Phase number 2, how you were led to Christ. And then phase number 3 is the after. What were the feelings and emotions attached after you came to know Christ? Share with them the joy. You want to spend more time talking about the peace and the joy and the comfort and the satisfaction than anything else. And so listen, I want to encourage you, take some time, go through this. I want you to write a half a page, write a paper, write 6 pages, but write about half a page. And I want you to write down your story using this 3-step process, this 3-phase process. Okay? Phase 1, again, life before Christ. Phase 2, how you were led to Christ. And phase 3, the after. So, God bless you all, and look out for the next training video.